Okay, so welcome back to SwitchCorner. It's late, but I'm a big fan of the Shantae series, so I wanted to get my opinion out there on the new entry, Shantae and the Seven Sirens, and basically let you know if it continues the series pedigree I've now come to expect of it. So yeah, if you're new here, hit subscribe, join our growing family. Thanks to WayForward for the review code for this one, and let's get started. So Shantae and the Seven Sirens, it sees our title heroine whisked away to Paradise Island on an all-expenses trip with her friends and family to take part in the Half-Genie festival. With 6 Half-Genies including yourself in attendance, you're basically there to entertain huge audiences. Now in typical Shantae fashion though, this quickly takes a turn for the worse when mysteriously the other 5 genies vanish into thin air during a live practice performance. Now you must get out there and rescue the other Half-Genies before it's too late. Now as always with the name, it's got a whole lot of character and heart that just makes it feel so much more than its very basic setup, and the huge cast old and new will for sure just keep you entertained with great delivery and a quick pace. So when it comes to gameplay, Shantae and the Seven Sirens very much fits the Metroidvania model. It's a huge map with sub-dungeons that we'll be out to explore to save our Half-Genie friends, but naturally, as with any Metroidvania, we'll need to earn access to different locations, whether that's in the form of finding keys to unlock specific paths, or the trademark Shantae transformations that will be required to make that next traversal. When it comes to controls though, to explore this world, well, Shantae absolutely delivers again, starting with the standard hair whip attack and tight jump controls. Soon you'll be inheriting new powers that are a bit of a departure from the standard setup for the series, but as tightly woven into the controls as you would expect. Here, transformations are now at the single push of the button, and it's instant, no pre-dance to get the transformation you want. Not only does this mean it never slows the pace, but the whole experience just felt, for me at least, more fine-tuned. Expect to be dashing and clinging to walls with the set R trigger, or body slamming with a tortoise, or digging at a breakneck pace. It feels like Shantae for sure made a step forward in its implementation, and learning these new abilities is just as exciting as ever, and using them to defeat enemies and bosses just super rewarding. Now on the side of these transformations, we also get new abilities in the form of magic. They may restore your health, reveal hidden platforms, or just simply uncover a huge amount of secrets in this world. It's where we see the return of belly dancing as you dance to activate each of these, and you will absolutely need to use them to progress. Then when it comes to backtracking, there is quite a bit of it, and you should expect that from a Metroidvania, but I will say as you completely cover each area, you'll start to unlock what are called warp rooms. The game's basically rewarding you with fast travel. Shantae's most impressive point for me is, and always has been, it does a great job of not only giving you these abilities, but absolutely then tying them into your forward progression with the map and story. So often with games you'll find a few abilities that you really like and then you'll focus on them ones, just kind of ignoring the rest. Here that's not the case, and you'll be using absolutely everything as you earn it. On the side of the core experience then, you can expect all the usual collectibles, whether that's heart squids to grow that health bar, or gems to spend on items, whether that's health or magic, or simply just fine-tuning specific moves and learning new ones. Here though, we see the introduction of monster cards. These are dropped at random by our enemies, and they can be equipped to Shantae, giving her new perks and introducing almost like a light RPG element to the whole experience, as you'll start tailoring these perks to your location and what's around you. Finally then, expect the usual offering of puzzles to solve that won't confuse you for too long but are still entertaining, and then boss fights that force you to use the new skill you inherited. And as you battle against these, I gotta say, the Seven Sirens of this island are incredible. Alongside all of this then, I will say expect the usual NPCs scattered around with huge amounts of dialogue, stores to visit, and even the occasional minigame that, yeah, they're kind of forgettable, but absolutely welcome as another addition to this package. Complaints wise, I think you can tell I'm impressed, but I will say a few moments when you had to jump vertically and position yourself over a platform could get annoying, as I constantly missed and fell immediately back down, just because obviously I couldn't see what I was jumping to. And then the load screens, typically attached to exits for locations, I will say they felt a little on the long side, especially when you would leave, realise you went the wrong way, and now you're going to have to like sit through it all over again. That though, I gotta say, that's me being picky. This breakdown is me just kind of scraping the surface of what Shantae has to offer, and having spent around like, I think about 9 to 10 hours at this point, I can't wait to jump in for another playthrough with New Game Plus. This one's absolutely doing the Shantae name proud, and there was me concerned because it started life on Apple Arcade, but I gotta say I'm happy to say I was totally wrong. Visually then, the big difference, we've dropped the 3D backgrounds we found in Half-Genie Hero and went for a purely 2D aesthetic with some really nice detail and shadow work that gives you that feeling it's more than simply, you know, a flat background. I prefer the style personally here, and now everything feels like it belongs together just a little bit more. These locations, they're about as varied as they can be though, whether it's underwater labs to lush green forestry to simply like beach-like vacation locations. Might not be the biggest map, but they for sure delivered on switching things up fast and quick to always give you something, you know, new to visually look at. Character models and enemies, then we get a huge cast, and each brings its own unique attacks and movesets. Whether it's an enemy, you know, throwing a barrage of attacks at you, your hair whipping, or magic is occurring like when they teleport all over the place around you, it just looks amazing. Now I will say here, sometimes just very occasionally these animations make them very easy to exploit, as you can kind of like trap them in a loop, but for the most part it's great stuff, and this may be like 2 or 3 enemies at the most, so consider that a very, very minor complaint as well. Finally then, cutscenes, and we get full animation, and yeah, stunning again. If ever I wanted to see an anime of Shantae, it is now, as these just bring the story and our character's personality to absolute life. Overall, visually, it's just another great delivery from the team at WayForward. So audio then, and for the most part it's good stuff. This entry in the series, it's for the most part living up to the legacy with a soundtrack that's about as optimistic and happy as can be without leaning into so annoying you're going to, you know, go insane from this like sugar rush of music. Then the sound effects, it's light stuff, but it again matches the overall presentation we see here, whether that's from like attacks to enemies and the damage you receive. If there's one thing with audio I would improve, it's the voice acting. Don't get me wrong, what we get is good stuff, but it's only partially voice acted, and a lot of the NPCs and Shantae herself remain silent, relying on text boxes. This one addition could really add so much to the experience, in my opinion. So overall, look, Shantae and the Seven Sirens is another example of great work coming from WayForward. Sure, it's not the biggest change for the series, but I doubt anyone would want that. Instead, they basically take what already works, they fine tune it, you know, slight visual change or maybe the new fluid transformations. There's a few very minor issues like the jump vertical to other rooms or the occasional enemy, like I said, that you can exploit. But honestly, rarely does a game get called amazing on this channel. This, I gotta say though, is one of them. It's up there in price as one of the more expensive eShop exclusive titles, but you know what? It's worth every single bit of it, and 2D platformer and Metroidvania fans should get this one immediately. Today, Shantae and the Seven Sirens, it's getting an amazing 9 out of 10, and what an amazing game to add to your collection. Thanks for watching. Are you a fan of Shantae like myself, and did you pick this one up already, or will you be grabbing it shortly? Hit subscribe if you're new here, join our growing family, maybe check out a few videos on the channel, and with that, I'll see you all on the next one. Thanks everyone.